Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever heard of the saying or the topic of holistic health? And have you ever thought about what that actually is, or do you think you know what that is? There's some ways of spelling it. One is Holistic, holistic health. The other one is holistic health, Wholistic, holistic, with the emphasis on the word being whole. The other one is probably has a little bit more meaning, I guess, in some ways, spelt coming from the word holy. Anyway, they are controversial terms. Some people are all for one and not for the other, and some people are a bit mixed up as to what they all are about. Anyway, what I'm talking about with this is that I came across today or the other day in my collection of things from back in the 70s when I first became a Christian, this Bible study series. And some of you might have seen this before. And this is, try and sort that out a bit. Yep, that way. Holistic Health, He Touched Me by Lyman Coleman as part of the Serendipity Bible study series. Lyman Coleman was one of the forerunners in the small group movement back in the 1970s within the churches, and he was a very influential person. And these studies were very good, very well laid out. And I've actually been scanning one of these so I don't lose the original today. However, back in the day when I used to have a Bible study that we used to have in the lunch hour in Telecom Australia, which is now Telstra, we actually went through one of these books as a group. We didn't go all the topics, cover all the topics, but the topics that are in there are 7 sessions. There is, excuse me, the spiritual side of us, and this is in keeping with what I talk about on my website and my blog, the idea of us being body, soul, and spirit. And for us to be whole, we need to have all those things in harmony with each other. So this covered 7 sessions: spiritual, physical, emotional, relational, vocational, environmental, and then wholeness, shalom, perfect harmony with myself, others, and God. It was a big call, wasn't it? We didn't do all of that in our group study, but we found it interesting. And I would love to be able to do another one of those with someone else, another small group these days. But there's a wealth of information there. Pretty hard to get hold of some of those books now. You can find some on the second-hand market. I found these two, just there's one copy of each I found on the internet at the moment for not very much money. So they're very interesting. But by way of that, my one of my former ministers, who is mentioned often on this channel and on my Christian channel, is a man called Frank Hunting, and he did heaps of Bible studies, and I've got copies of just about every Bible study that he ever did. And so at the moment I'm transcribing from a PDF of one that he did on emotions for use in small groups, similar to this in some ways. And I'm transcribing it from the PDF, and then I'm putting it into a Word thing, and then I'm putting it into a PowerPoint presentation to maybe make a video out of it, or maybe just be able to make it available for other people to use in a small group setting. So I'm going to just show you a little bit. I'll share the screen, show you what I've been doing and what I've done so far. Down the track, I hope to complete this project and start releasing it progressively probably on my Christian YouTube channel, which is probably a more appropriate place for this to be. But anyway, I'm going to share the screen now and show you what I've been doing. So after that little glitch, I'm now going to share the screen with you again, and I'll go straight into the PowerPoint that I've got made so far. So just bear with me for a second. Let's get that out the road. And here we have our slideshow. There you go. Emotions, Bad and Good, a Bible study by Frank Hunting. This is in progress at the moment. I haven't finished doing this, but I'm transcribing this, as I said, from the PDF file and putting into a Word document and transcribing it to this. So study 1, this is just a glimpse of what's going to come. Emotions are important. How important are emotions? Are they important enough to devote a weekend to studying them? And this was a weekend study, probably done with some young people. Usually when we talk about emotions in the way we shall over the weekend, some Christians will pipe up, Oh, you're having psychological studies. I want studies from the Bible. And Frank says, if the word emotion doesn't appear in the Bible, what we call emotions are spoken about again and again in Scripture. Indeed, they play a most important part in Scripture teaching. Modern psychology backs up the emphasis given by the Bible to our emotions. Our emotions can cut us off from God and from our fellow men, and that is very serious. And he says here, emotions are the root cause of a whole range of human experience, good and bad, happy and unhappy, delightful or miserable. Emotions out of control can cause splits in families, rows in churches, tummy ulcers, tension headaches, an amazing range of psychosomatic illnesses, and a great deal of personal unhappiness and misery. And we have hardly started on the list of troubles caused by having wrong or bad emotional reactions. So it goes on, and there's good and bad discussions. It's designed for group discussions, and some questions to ask. Discussion here. We stopped short of letting Jesus convert our emotions. Could your group discuss this statement? There are feelings we have, but we try to hide them from others. Could your group list the most common feelings we want to hide? What results from doing this? Anyway, I'm going to stop sharing now. That's just giving you some idea of what's on this this PowerPoint, and I'm still a work in progress. And of course, you need to be in a group of people, and not a large group. We had a small group that we were doing this when I was going through, well, we're going through the other one, the Holistic Health one by Lyman Coleman. And it's important that people are happy to share, but you've got to be very sensitive. There are leaders' notes that go with this course as well, as there were with the other one. So a leader of this sort of thing has to be quite good at what they are doing as far as understanding people's needs and where they're at when you go into a session like this. But basically, it's getting to the point of wholeness, holistic health, and what Frank's on about is whole salvation. In other words, sometimes as Christians, most of us who are Christians know that we need saving from sin. But as I've said before on this channel, sometimes some of the things we have are not necessarily what we would list as sins, but they probably are in reality. And sometimes we are suffering from the effect of the sin of others on us. And for a lot of these emotions, we need the salvation to save us from these emotions that have probably got hold of some of us. So anyway, that's just to whet your appetite. Thanks for watching. And I hope you will follow. This will take me a little while to transcribe all this and put it into a workable form on my other channel. But thanks for watching, and like if you like, subscribe if you wish, and I'll see you next time.